definitely of the opinion, that we should have some DEI hires in this administration, the ones that definitely earned it, because clearly we've got a bunch of incompetent fools that are trying to run our country, and actually they are running our country. They're running it straight into the ground.
As much as Trump and Republicans hate to accept it, we are still a country with laws, and when you break them, there are consequences.
Buckle up, because Jasmine Crockett just entered beast mode. This wasn't a political speech. This was a verbal execution. She absolutely torched JD Vance and Trump's gang of patriots. And folks, the gloves are off. And yes, Jasmine didn't just call out the lies. She took them, gift wrapped them, and launched them straight into the political incinerator. If Trumpworld thought it could skate by on delusion, they clearly forgot Jasmine Crockett doesn't miss.
The lack of cohesiveness on that side is why this has been the most unproductive Congress. People all over X and everything is like, well, they don't deserve anything. They're so unproductive. Let me tell you, the people that y'all keep putting in charge are the reason that we are unproductive, because they don't understand how to govern. And honestly, they don't even have a will to govern. And the fact that they are allowing somebody who basically is a shadow president to come out and tell them what to do, including Donald Trump, because listen, we know that Elon, as they have touted about how they need to get rid of the immigrants, let me be clear, Elon cannot become president of the United States because he is an immigrant who has gained U.S. citizenship later on in life. So he's not qualified to be, or he's not allowed to be under our Constitution. So instead, he decided that he was going to buy a president. And right now, he is pulling all the strings on Trump.
Did she just say Elon Musk bought a president? Yes, she did. And it makes total sense, because if there's one thing the Trump administration knows how to do, it's take orders from billionaires who tweet like middle schoolers and act like Bond villains. Crockett shredded the illusion. JD Vance reduced to rubble. Trump, nothing more than Elon's marionette in a MAGA hat. This wasn't a speech. This was a political demolition. And Jasmine, she didn't just light the fire. She burned the whole circus down. Stick around, because what comes next will make this look like a warm-up.
FBI. But my concerns as ranking member of this subcommittee, as a member of Congress, and as an attorney, as well as a citizen, are based on things called facts. And when I say facts, I mean clear, indisputable facts, not those alternative facts my Republican colleagues continue pushing onto the American people.
Now that's how you clear a room full of MAGA nonsense. Jasmine isn't here to entertain Republican fairy tales, especially not the kind written in crayon and glued together with Fox News conspiracy theories. She came with receipts, not right-wing fan fiction. But let's not pretend this is just about poor JD Vance. Bless his soul, still clinging to relevance like it's a life raft in the Trump tsunami. No, this is about something way bigger. We're talking about the human headline machine himself, Donald Trump, the man who treats the Constitution like a napkin at Mar-a-Lago, a walking chaos magnet who can't open his mouth without sounding like a rejected game show host from the 80s. Every time he speaks, America collectively winces, because 9 times out of 10, what follows isn't policy, it's a public meltdown wrapped in a word salad and deep fried in delusion.
And I'm tired of it, because I didn't come to this chamber to play games. I came to this chamber to answer to the people, the American people, and to make sure that we keep the American people safe. And if we don't get something done, as they talk about the border, I do want to be clear, the only reason we haven't gotten funding for the border is because they killed, the House Republicans here, killed the bill that they actually sent us from the Senate side. If they want to do some work, let me tell you something. The Democrats are ready, and it seems like the Senate Republicans are ready too. They just need to get...
Mic drop. Crockett doesn't just call out the hypocrisy, she bulldozes it. Republicans killed their own bill and then cried about it like they weren't the arsonists holding the matches. And Jasmine? She's not here for the drama, unless it's to drag Trump's circus right back into the spotlight. Because when it comes to lies, gaslighting, and GOP tantrums, Jasmine isn't pulling punches. And Trump? Let's just say his closet is full of skeletons. The only difference, his skeletons are loud, proud, and probably voting under fake names in 3 states. What's coming next? Even Trump's lawyers might need a moment.
But also, when it comes down to like Trump being able to pick talent, let's just do a quick evaluation. I mean, when we look at Rudy Giuliani, I know that Rudy Giuliani has lost everything from his law license to his money to his dignity. Heck, he was even losing his hair dye, okay? Like, he has lost everything along with any other lawyer that's ever associated with him. And so now we get to JD Vance when he picks a VP running mate. And he also picked another loser, right? Like, because now the single cat ladies are coming for their ticket. Like, I mean, this guy is a loser. And I just need America to step up one more time and remind him, just like they reminded him 4 years ago, that he's a loser and he is only good for entertainment. But when it comes to running this country, we need someone who is...
Trump's idea of picking top talent is honestly one of the greatest jokes in political history. Like, Rudy Giuliani, the man went from America's mayor to America's mugshot. He's lost everything, including apparently control of his hair dye. At this point, even his legal arguments are melting down. And now JD Vance, the newest flavor in Trump's loser sampler pack. Crockett said it best. The guy's about as useful as a cat meme in a foreign policy briefing. And yet this is who Trump wants on the ticket. It's giving desperate open casting call. Here's the truth. Trump doesn't recruit leaders. He collects sycophants, weirdos, and washed up lawyers like they're NFTs. Worthless, but somehow still embarrassing to own. Here's a fun fact. Trump doesn't even need a strategy. His whole political career is just one long improv scene that spiraled out of control. Jasmine Crockett isn't playing with that mess. She's bulldozing it with the force of 1,000 indictments. Every time she speaks, it's like truth finally got a microphone, and it is not pulling punches. And when Trump gets hit with facts, he does what he always does: deny, deflect, and pretend like we all imagined it. Classic. But Jasmine, she's turning those MAGA lies into political confetti, and she's not here to clean it up.
Ultimately, each of you knows enough to know that at the end of the day, it is citizens that sit on a grand jury that are the ones that decide whether or not evidence exists to go forward with an indictment. And ultimately, when this president was convicted by a jury on the state level, it was a jury of his peers.
Translation: this isn't some political hit job. It's called justice, and it's coming from regular citizens who looked at the evidence and said, yeah, this guy, he's guilty. Let's not forget Trump's real legacy: a chaos president with a gold-plated penthouse and a working-class cosplay fetish. He promised to be a voice for the everyday American, and then gave tax breaks to billionaires and called it trickle-down. Please, that's like handing a starving man a Tic Tac and calling it a 5-course meal. Jasmine Crockett is done playing pretend. She's pulling back the curtain on the working class hero act. And what's behind it? A reality TV star who doesn't know the difference between governing and grifting.
I can tell you one thing that is crumbling for the city of DC was that continuing resolution that defunded approximately $1 billion from them, but I will focus on today's hearing. The Republicans' recklessness and chaotic approach to reducing the size of government has shown us what we've already known. Concepts of a plan don't work. It's not just going to be Democrats who miss out on Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, or only Democratic veterans who'll miss out on their VA benefits. Their approach will negatively impact all Americans. So it's unfortunate that Republicans have taken a seemingly bipartisan issue and included it as part of their scam to subsidize tax giveaway for billionaires. They haven't proposed anything that will improve the efficiency of the government. Instead, they have put the country on a path to a recession and implemented the largest tax increase on Americans in decades through Trump's tariffs. This hearing is their latest attempt to try to convince the American people that dismantling public-facing agencies will somehow improve government efficiency. Let me tell you.
Trump and his cronies couldn't come up with a real plan if it hit them over the head with a binder labeled basic governance. They're slashing funding, creating chaos, and calling it reform. But let's be real, it's just a tax scam in a trench coat. And the only people benefiting, billionaires who treat paying taxes like it's some sort of quaint tradition for peasants. Meanwhile, regular Americans, they're the ones left holding the bill. If you're part of the middle class, Trump probably assumes you're also the kind of person who confuses a fitted sheet for a magic trick. Translation, he doesn't think your problems are even worth solving. He tossed pocket change at the working class while handing out gold bars to his golf buddies. But don't worry, Jasmine Crockett's got the receipts, and she's serving truth with a side of "how dare you," Trump's idea of leadership during a crisis. Picture a man juggling flaming swords while blindfolded and also somehow insulting nurses. It was never strategy, it was improv comedy, except the punchline was a global health crisis. This is the same guy who thought just drink bleach might be a solid public health solution. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
You are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am? Is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into.
Boom. Jasmine's just dropped the kind of truth that could shatter 1,000 glass ceilings. She's not just clapping back. She's body slamming the hypocrisy. Mediocre white men who coasted into power are scared because people like Jasmine didn't get there by accident. They fought tooth and nail for every inch. And the GOP's response, try to gut education, dismantle equity, and pretend it's all in the name of fairness. Oh, JD Vance. Remember him? There was a time, not too long ago, when JD was basically the main character in a political coming-of-age movie where he's desperately trying not to become Trump. He called Trump a fraud, a danger, a clown. It was giving, I swear I'm not like the other Republicans. He was waving the please take me seriously flag so hard it nearly flew off the pole. And now he's the VP hopeful for the same man he once labeled a national embarrassment. You couldn't make this up if you tried, but hey, welcome to the Trump cinematic universe, where loyalty is optional, dignity is extinct, and the plot holes are big enough to drive a gold-plated golf cart through.
And so one of the takeaways is not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history, it's that Trump is a really bad candidate and frankly, I think a really bad person.
Oh, wow. JD Vance said the quiet part loud. At one point, this man was dragging Trump through the mud, like he was auditioning to be MSNBC's next primetime host. He didn't just call Trump a bad candidate. He flat out said he was a bad person. And honestly, for once in his life, JD had a point. But he didn't stop there. No, sir. He slammed Trump's entire vibe like a disappointed dad at a school talent show. He called Trump's rhetoric toxic, which in politics is just a polite way of saying radioactive dumpster fire. He mocked MAGA like it was some tragic LARP event for boomers stuck in 1950s cosplay. JD was out here painting Trump supporters as folks living in a Make America Delusional Again theme park where facts go to die and irony isn't allowed past the front gate. He didn't just disagree with Trump, he made it his brand. I mean, listen to that.
And my biggest problem with Trump, I mean, and there are many, many things to pick out, but my biggest problem with Trump is that his message to the right, especially the white working class of which I came from, is anti-conservative.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. And I've noticed this willingness from people who think a lot like I do that, look, we told you so. To all these white working class voters, we told you so.
You heard it. JD Vance, never Trump, a man of convictions, until he needed a VP slot, because somewhere between Trump is dangerous and can I be your running mate, JD pulled off one of the most Olympic level political backflips in modern history. And Jasmine Crockett, oh, she was not letting that one slide. She saw through JD's glow up from anti-Trump warrior to loyal MAGA minions, and she called it what it is, a fraud wrapped in ambition, sprinkled with desperation. This isn't just about hypocrisy, it's about teaming up with the same man whose negligence helped cost thousands of lives during a national crisis. While Trump was busy tweeting from the golf cart, real Americans were left begging for leadership. Spoiler, it never showed up. Trump governed like he was still running a reality show, except instead of being fired, people died. And don't even get Jasmine started on the economy. Trump treated the country like a brand to monetize, as if slapping his name on everything from steaks to student debt could magically create jobs. Guess what? It didn't. He handed tax breaks to billionaires like Oprah hands out cars. You get a deduction, you get a loophole. Meanwhile, working class Americans were left with crumbs and chaos. And inflation. Jasmine joked he probably thinks it's just a new VIP room at Mar-a-Lago. Trump's been living in such a fantasy bubble, he wouldn't recognize real economic policy if it walked into his golf club wearing an indictment.
So here's the point. We have people in this chamber that are actually causing just as much a threat, if not more of a threat, to our own country. We should be talking about holding our very own accountable for the misinformation and disinformation that they are spreading, whether it's coming out of China, whether it's coming out of Russia, or whoever is peddling it. It is a problem because right now what we see is that people are dying and we cannot get the support that we need from the public because they continue to peddle lies. And I'm tired.
And that's the problem. The real threat isn't always overseas. Sometimes it's sitting 3 seats down in Congress, tweeting conspiracy theories and asking Google if JFK Jr. is still alive. Jasmine Crockett didn't just raise the alarm, she blared it like an emergency test signal interrupting a football game. She's watching her colleagues actively push disinformation like it's coupon day at the fascism outlet store, and she's had enough. But let's not forget the cherry on top of this flaming MAGA sundae, that tired, dusty, nostalgia-laced slogan, "Make America Great Again." What does it even mean anymore? It's like a patriotic perfume ad that smells like denial and expired tax returns. Jasmine isn't just rolling her eyes, she's ripping the whole bumper sticker off and exposing the irony underneath. Because MAGA was never about progress, it was about pretending the past was perfect, as long as you were rich, powerful, and surrounded by yes men. Meanwhile, Trump spent his presidency turning America into a reality show. Every press conference, a plot twist, every scandal, a cliffhanger. The only thing missing was a rose ceremony and a dramatic Chris Harrison voiceover. And while the rest of us were bracing for the next disaster, Trump was busy rage tweeting from the golf course.
Take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
There it is. No sugarcoating, no spin. We've got a man facing more charges than a malfunctioning iPhone charger, and somehow Republicans are still pretending they're shocked when he acts like, well, exactly who he's always been. Jasmine called it a thug in charge, and while JD Vance tries to play political twister with his integrity, and Trump continues turning democracy into his personal cash cow, Jasmine Crockett is doing what none of them can, telling the truth with style, substance, and zero patience for BS. This wasn't just a political takedown, it was a full-on truth smackdown, and if you thought this was wild, wait until you see what Trump gets caught doing next. Click here to watch the next jaw-dropping Trump disaster. It's unbelievable.